Hebrews. This is our Prophets of Awakening. Um, this is our Advanced Bible, Israelite Advanced Bible Study, 22nd of March. Uh, the lesson I'll be dealing with later on is Deuteronomy. I'll be picking up when we left off last week with chapters 13 and 14. I'm asking everybody to like, share, and subscribe to Prophets of Awakening and hit the notification button if you can. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. The Tanakh is the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses at Mount Sinai by the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome everyone to Prophets of the Awakening channel, and welcome to our Israelite Advanced Bible Study. We're going to do our moment of silence and our prayer and psalms and the current events. Okay? So with that being said, I'm read our prayer. Just, O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face, looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as our servants David and Solomon, Samuel and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and evil, for you possess the power to do so. We desire to walk after you, O Lord, keep your commandments and your testimony and your statutes with all our heart and soul, to perform the words of this covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, O Lord, and hide not thy face from us, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay, let me read a psalm. Okay. Okay, I'm going to read Psalm 94. It says, how long shall the wicked triumph? O Lord God, to whom vengeance belongeth, O God, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself, lift up thyself, thy judge of the earth, render a reward to the proud. Lord, how long shall the wicked triumph? How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves? They break in pieces thy people, O Lord, and afflict thine heritage. They slay the widow and the stranger, and murder the fatherless. Yet they say, the Lord shall not see, neither shall the God of Jacob regard it. Understand, ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, when will ye be wise? He that planteth the ear, shall he not hear? He that formeth the eye, shall he not see? He that chastiseth the heathen, shall not he correct? He that teacheth man knowledge, shall he not know? The Lord knoweth the thoughts of man, that they are vanity. Blessed is the man whom thou chastisest, O Lord, and teachest him out of thy law, that thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity, into the pit be digged for the wicked. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. But judgment shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who shall stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. When I said, my foot slipped, thy mercy, O Lord, held me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, the comforts delight my soul. Shall the throne of iniquity have a fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous, and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord our God shall cut them off. So that was Psalm 94. Uh, how long shall the wicked triumph? Anybody got any comments on that? What verse they want to read?
I would just like to make a comment and say that vengeance belongs to the one that can see more than we can see. And
Okay.
we know who that is.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Get something? Anybody else got anything? Okay. So with that being said, I was gonna go into current events. Anybody have any current events they want to bring up? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got one right here.
In every link of the global supply chain, shipping problems are being severely aggravated. Freight rates are spinning out of control as ports remain extremely congested in the US and China. And at the same time, rising transportation costs are worsening labor shortages and exacerbating delivery delays all over the world. The operational nightmare just keeps getting worse, and industry CEOs are alerting that consumers will be the ones paying for this unprecedented mess as retailers face a threatening dilemma, either paying higher shipping prices and passing along those increased costs to consumers, or risk their business by letting shelves go empty. But before we move on to today's discussion, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss our future videos. The new round of lockdowns imposed by Chinese authorities is adding disruption on top of disruption to global supply chains and significantly worsening port congestion worldwide. The knock-on effects are already being felt in U.S. ports, where congestion continues to spread from the West Coast to the East Coast. The continued disruption pushed the global port congestion index to jump 36.3% over the past 3 weeks, with major container ports in China operating at reduced capacity or completely closed due to the country's zero-tolerance health policies. There are so many ships waiting outside China's port of Yantian right now that logistics firms are warning their customers about more delivery delays and more price increases in the coming weeks. According to logistics software vendor Project 44, delivery delays are expected to spike 44% this week, following the lockdown in the city of Shenzhen. Chinese officials have imposed a stay-at-home mandate for the 18 million people living in the city after 60 cases of the virus were detected earlier this month. Project 44 analysts also said that ripple effects are already being felt at other ports in the region, including Ningbo and Shanghai, where delivery delays and wait times for ships are also growing. The shutdown has interrupted manufacturing activity in the entire region, known as the home to the world's leading producer of electronic components, Foxconn, which makes parts for Apple, Sony, Nintendo, and Hewlett-Packard, among others. Even though the restrictions are expected to be lifted this week, Project 44 leaders argue that more slowdowns are likely to be felt worldwide in the days and the weeks ahead. It's likely that the cumulative effects on the consumer electronics, automotive, and medical equipment industries worldwide will soon be felt, said Josh Brazil, Vice President of Supply Chain Insights for Project. increase in our fuel costs over the last 8 weeks, we've seen those fuel costs continue to escalate, said Mask.
Okay, so okay, anybody got any comments on that? Okay, for those that don't know, they locked down a couple of cities in China because of the COVID and started on the move again. So that's how like he was saying, it's 600% increase in drawbacks and all that. So I really don't think that they can take too much more of that. The stress that's on the shipping and the whole system, you can't take it too much more. And that was the reason that I had put that one video out that we're going to deal with a little later on about having 6 months to prepare. We'll check that out later. Anybody have any comments on the video? Okay. I'll play this here and then I'll go on something else.
You can see it's easy to track, easier to track. You can see the soldiers, you can see the tanks, you can see who's winning and who's not. But what about the digital offensive? That's a lot harder. For starters, we don't know what is real anymore. Take a look at this video. What do you see? President Zelensky of Ukraine addressing the media, the same green t-shirt, the same background, classic Zelensky. This video was broadcast on Ukrainian TV. But the viewers were in for a surprise, because in this video, Zelensky was not condemning Russia, he was not calling for peace, he was asking his soldiers to surrender. I know it's shocking, except this is not the real Zelensky. This is a deep fake video. It was broadcast on Ukraine TV by Russian hackers. If you look closely, you can notice the difference. His head is too big, his neck is too stiff, plus there is a difference in skin tone. Ukrainian viewers were quick to realize this. Their experts immediately busted the deep fake. Zelensky himself addressed the issue on Instagram. He called it a childish provocation. In this case, he's right. This deep fake was not a good attempt. Cyber experts are calling it a cheap fake. Within hours, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube got it removed. But what if the attempt was better? What if the deep fake was more sophisticated? Well, that is the big worry for both sides. Before we discuss this tech war, let's cover the basics. What exactly is a deep fake? Simply put, it's an artificial media. You can put someone's face on another person's body. You can make them do anything, admit to crime, spread fake news, anything you want. It's like photoshopping on steroids. This video should give you a better idea.
Killmonger was right. Or Ben Carson is in the sunken place. Or, how about this? Simply, President Trump is a total and complete. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. It's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of dystopia. Thank you.
I'm sure you figured that. It wasn't the real Obama, but in that case, it was a prank. There were no real stakes. In Ukraine, things are very different. Volodymyr Zelensky is the commander-in-chief of Ukraine's armed forces. His deep fakes can influence this war. And Russia is notorious for disinformation campaigns, fake news, propaganda reels, deep fakes. The Kremlin has aced all of it. But they're not the only ones who do this. The history of disinformation is as old as the history of war. I can give you many examples. Here's one from the Second World War. The Allies were planning the invasion of Sicily in 1943. But they needed to draw the Germans away. So what did they do? They procured a random dead body, dressed it up as a British captain, and dropped it near the coast of Spain. How did that help? You see, the dead body was planted with fake British documents. Those documents hinted at an invasion of Greece, not Sicily. So the Germans sent all their reinforcements to Greece, and Sicily was captured easily. Long story short, disinformation worked in 1943. And remember, that was rudimentary stuff. Today's technology makes disinformation much more dangerous. Teenagers in a basement could make deep fakes. This one of Zelensky was busted. The next one may not. And it's not just Russia. The West is also waging a disinformation war. Take this video, for instance. Again, what do you see? President Putin giving one of his typical addresses, except the content is shocking. In this video, Putin says Russia has surrendered. He's asking Russian soldiers to leave Ukraine. Needless to say, it's a deep fake. Now, some of these videos are easy to spot. You can make out the edited portion, whether it's the facial expressions, the skin tone, or even gestures. But this process takes time. Ask Britain's Defense Secretary, Ben Wallace. He spent 9 minutes on a video call with a deep-fake Ukrainian Prime Minister. It was choreographed perfectly. The call came from another government department. It seemed quite genuine. It was requested in the name of a Ukrainian embassy official. So Ben Wallace ended up speaking to this deep-fake for 9 whole minutes. How did he realize the truth? When the conversation turned fishy, the deepfake Prime Minister asked Ben Wallace 3 questions. Was Britain planning deployments to the Black Sea? Is Ukraine willing to drop its NATO bid? And should Ukraine get nuclear weapons? Wallace realized.
Okay. Any comments?
That's something. Technology is something else. Oh my goodness.
They go way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is there some? So you just imagine what they've been doing over here before the Ukrainian war. They've been hoodwinking us with that type of stuff for the ever and a day. It ain't just coming out. It ain't just started. Yeah. So here goes some need to know information right here. Come on. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Welcome back to Redirecting. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how Russia played a significant part in suppressing Black votes here in the U.S. Now, even if you don't vote or you don't care about voting or anything like that, it's very important that you understand what's taking place here. In a recent video, I talked about how the whole world studies Black people, specifically us here in the U.S. I've talked about that in several videos, as a matter of fact, because this is something I've known for a very long time. And so you've got to ask yourself, why do people study us? Okay. Now, when it gets as far as Russia, then you got to ask yourself what's going on here. There's a reason why they study us is because they need to know what makes us tick. How do we think? How do we respond to things? So what I want to do is roll a very short video clip, and then I'll be right back to give you some of my words on why Russia is studying us.
This is really important what I'm about to tell you right now, because there's new information. Two new reports commissioned by the Senate Intelligence Committee looked at data provided by Facebook, by Twitter and Google, and they found that they were trying to suppress African American votes.
The Russians set up 30 Facebook pages targeting African Americans, specifically 10 YouTube channels, 571 videos related to police violence against African Americans. Some of these posts distorted the record of Hillary Clinton and former President Barack Obama.
Facebook ads were targeted at users who had shown interest in particular topics, including Black history, the Black Panther Party, and Malcolm X. The Russian accounts used voter suppression tactics, encouraging Black voters to stay home or vote for Jill Stein.
Now, as you see from the video, there was a lot of effort put into suppressing Black votes by the Russians. Now, in order to do this, they had to study us. They want to know how we think, what we respond to, what makes us tick. Now, they are not the only ones. A lot of people study so-called African Americans. Okay, not just African Americans. They even study the Africans and the rest of us in the diaspora, wherever we are. But the African American community is targeted very strongly for a reason. And so when they do things, they try to really push certain narratives, okay? And I do believe that many of us respond to these things because it is something that's near and dear to our hearts. When you're talking about our people being targeted by police and by the system, of course that's near and dear to our hearts. But if you've noticed in some of my recent videos, I'm thinking that we should talk more about solutions, right? We are to look at the things that are happening to our people. We are to pay attention to them, even acknowledge them. But instead of coming out in anger and talking about what we would have did if this happened to one of my loved ones and all this other stuff, we need to come up with collective solutions for our people. Because our enemies, they want to see us in an uproar. They do. And I know that many times in some of my videos, I have expressed the anger that I feel about how our people are being treated. But we have to remember one thing. Those of you who are in the know of what Bible prophecy says, then we would know that these things were said to happen to us, so it must be fulfilled. But also the correction of these things must be talked about as well, in which I do that too. One of my favorite scriptures, which is to me a wake-up call for all of us, it says, if my people, which are called by my name, would humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. There you go. Wicked ways. Turn from their wicked ways. The Most High says, then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. And so if we focused more on that and less on what the enemy is doing to us, and let me correct that. Not that we shouldn't focus on these things, but we need to focus on solutions when talking about these things. Okay? We need to focus on solutions because, again, and I'm going to keep on saying this, marching, protesting, and singing kumbaya and we shall overcome and all this stuff, it is not working. Begging and groveling is not working because these people have told us time and time again that they cannot stand us. And so we've got to come up with other ways. And the fact that you have the Russians looking at us, hearing at us, studying us, talking about us, that shows you just how deep the rabbit hole goes, in my opinion, when you have leaders of other nations specifically looking at us and targeting us. And it's not that we are special to them. They understand that if they can keep our minds, which is a huge chunk of the tribe of Judah, they understand if they can keep our minds in a certain place because we live in a deep stronghold. Now, I'm not saying that other places are not a stronghold for our people, but the U.S. is a very deep stronghold for our people. There are certain principalities over the regions, various regions of America, and the country itself have some very strong principalities over it. And so we, as the children of the Most High Yah, we've got to learn how to navigate through all of this. We got to figure this part out, family, okay? Because they are using every tactics to break us down. And when you look at these memes, I want to talk about that real quick. When you look at the memes and the campaigns that were targeted at us, they are trying to get us to focus so much on the problems to where we are not coming up with solutions. That's what I believe. Focus on the problem so that you won't have time to think about the solution. Can you imagine if we started thinking about the solutions?
Okay. Any comments on that? Does anybody know anything about that?
No. Wow.
Is that something?
But Russia knows who we are just like everybody else does. So, especially if he is, partners with Trump and so forth, they're going to do everything they can do to us also.
Right. Exactly. Is that something? And like I was, I don't know if we talked about it or not, but they was anticipating on Trump shutting down the NATO. That's why they were trying to get him back in office. He's supposed to be, he was going to shut down NATO in the second term, but it didn't happen. So, with that being said, nobody had any comments on that? Okay, so I put a video out yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning or something. But and it was about that we having 6 months to prepare for a collapse, the dollar collapse. And like I said, if you're paying attention to what's going on, the whole system, this capitalist system that they created, that's around America, is being strained. So they, and everything that you see going on around it, 2 years of the shutdowns from the viruses, and then the all the stuff with the police shootings and all that, and then all the stuff going on with the container ships and all that. And then now we got this war with Ukraine with about 40 or 50% of the world's grain is coming out of those two countries. So it's and with the gas prices all then escalated, it can't be able to stand too much more. And then you got countries already getting out of the dollar anyway. Cryptocurrency coming up, rising up, so we didn't know but a matter of time. So you say you watched that, Michelle?
Yes, I did.
You get anything out of it? What'd you get out of it?
I did. They had a lot of great pointers, I think, for the people on how to get. Say that again.
No, I said that.
Yeah, on how to get started, even if you have not started yet. It's time to get started. We may not even have 6 months.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today because I watched it again today. And, I was thinking like we may not even have 6 months.
No.
And the key thing that really stood out to me is when she said, we don't want to wait and be out there in the mist with everybody else.
Right. Like happened before.
Like happened before. We didn't think it was really going to happen. We just kind of, lagged around and, before you know it, there was nothing in the stores basically.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And she has another video on canning and how to, preserve it for, 2, 3, 4 years. So that's a good video to watch too. But yeah, it was some great information in there.
Okay. Did you watch it, Gladys?
I did not. I didn't get the opportunity, but I will.
Did you see the video? I mean, did you see the message?
Yes, I did.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna play some of it.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Homestead Heart. And this evening, you all, we decided to come to you all with a serious question. But we're not.
Yeah, the channel is Homestead Heart. It's on the Guy Show.
not going to be long, but we do have a serious question, as you probably saw in the title, because we're asking you this question, but this is a question that Mr. H and I, we were talking about yesterday as well, and he thought it would be a great idea if we shared this with you all. So, you all, we asked the question, what would you do if you knew that you only had 6 months to prepare yourself for the complete collapse of the US dollar, the economy, and life as you know it today? What would you do if you knew?
Yeah. What would be your first thought for us, like from 6 months to knowing that we had to make a decision on how we was going to make it from day to day with food and water.
For who knows how long?
Yes. So we don't know how long it'll last, but we have 6 months to get it together.
Right.
To get food, water, and all the necessities. Medicine, everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow. Yeah. Everything.
Yes.
You know, we were talking about our eyeglasses.
Yes.
How many pairs of glasses do we have? Like Ms. H said, medications.
Yes, medication.
You know, and what about things that people hardly ever think about?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm telling you, it's just so much out there that it can be overwhelming to try to think of everything you need. You know, but if you knew you only had 6 months, that's all you got. Is 6 months, because 6 months from today,
yes,
all stuff is about to hit the fan.
Yes.
But you got 6 months.
Yes.
To get ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
What on earth would you do?
The first thing I would think is get a checklist, like we was talking about, so we can stay organized.
Yeah. And not panic like everybody did during the pandemic, and then everybody bum rushed all of the markets and stuff, and we were at the farmers market.
Yes.
And thousands of people showed up in there in just no time at all.
Oh yeah.
So instead of doing that, and you got time, you got 6 months.
Yes.
Now, for some people, that's a lot of time. To some people, it ain't no time at all. But what if that's all you got?
Yes.
What in the world would you do, you all? And I'm gonna say this, you know, I shared this with Mr. H.
Yes.
One of our viewers posted a comment, and the comment said that some people are like tea bags. They're only good when they're in hot water.
Yes.
Some people are like tea bags. They're only good when they're in hot water. So we don't want to wait until a hot water situation is right up on us.
Yes.
And then now we know what to do. Now we know we got to run out and do this, that, and the other. But now you're doing it in a panic. I can guarantee you there are some things you're not going to get.
Yeah. And also when you're doing it in a panic, you're going to look what kind of energy you're going to be wasting, running, trying to get these crowds, trying to find the items that you need. And you're going to be, you know, if you think about like when people just go into Black Friday, how they act when they try to get these big screen TVs. All of those people you wrestling,
or like during the pandemic when they were trying to get toilet paper.
Oh yeah.
And people were fighting over toilet paper.
Yeah.
And I think somebody tried to kill somebody over some toilet paper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's not what we want to do.
No.
You know, we want to take 6 months and just look at it from month to month to month. What can I spare of my finances?
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What can I spare my finances? And what can I stop doing?
Yes.
So can I stop with the cigarettes? I know that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I know that's a tough one for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Can I stop with the Starbucks?
Yeah.
Right? Can I stop going to get my nails did and my hair done?
Oh man.
Can I do it myself? What can we stop doing? Can I stop buying an outfit every week and shoes to match every single week?
Yeah. Steady,
Yeah.
smooth pace, and get what we need, and just get prepared. 6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, y'all, just what would you do if you only had 6 months to prepare? What would you do?
Yeah.
Would you waste your money on cryptocurrency? Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't care how much cryptocurrency somebody got, how much gold and silver somebody got. Trust me, that's not going to help me. I can't sell you nothing for that. Because I can't spend it. So I can't sell you nothing for it. Because if I took your gold or your silver and gave you something for it, what am I supposed to do with it? Because it's not like I can run to the Dollar General and say, hey, I got this gold coin. Can I buy it? Continue to rise of $2 can of soup could be $5 in a few months. And next year, this time, it could be $8 or $10. Can you afford it? Get it while you can afford it. Because you may not be able to afford those grains a year from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like I was saying before, you want to watch all that video. You know, it's you only have 6 months to before the collapse of the dollar in the U.S. economy. So they were stressing how to start preparing and getting all your stuff in order. So anybody have any comments on that?
Prices are already going up. So you used to could go to the little Dollar Tree, and get things for $1, and I think now it's $1.25 in there. So
Right.
we see those prices going up, gas prices going up,
Right.
even the continuation of food shortages.
Right.
So, like she said, we kind of up in age. So when you sitting around, not doing anything, make you a little list.
Right.
And like she said, it's time out for buying these outfits and shoes and purses and all
Right.
of that. We ain't gonna be able to carry none of that with us.
Right. And you got Ukraine as an example.
Right.
How their whole world changed overnight. So, and like I say, if you paying attention, you can see where we headed. It ain't
Right.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there something?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said before, my wife said this. You got 6 months before the collapse of the dollar. It's on YouTube. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go into the reading of the lesson. I'm reading chapters 13 and 14 out of the book of Deuteronomy. Let me get out of this right quick. Okay. So I'm in Deuteronomy chapter 13. Yeah, I'm gonna read 13 and 14. Okay. Okay. So it says idols, idols, adulterers to be put to death. Okay, got tongue tied right there. Says if there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he hath spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God proveth you, to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and he shall serve, and you shall serve him, and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou shalt put the evil away from the midst of thee. If thy brother, thy son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely of the gods of the people which are round about you, not nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thy hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. And thou shalt stone him with stones that he died, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God, who brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall bear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. Adulterous cities to be destroyed. If thou shalt hear say in one of the cities which the Lord thy God have given thee to dwell therein, to dwell there, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of the city, saying, let us go to serve other gods which we have not known. Then shalt thou inquire and make search, and ask diligently, and behold, if it be true, and things certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword. And thou shalt gather all the spoils of it into the midst of the street thereof, and thou shalt burn with fire the city and all spoils thereof, every whit, for the Lord thy God, and it shall be a heap forever. It shall not be built again, and there shall cleave not of the cursed thing to thine hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show thee mercy, and have compassion upon thee, and multiply thee as he hath sworn unto thy fathers. And thou shalt hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep all his commandments, which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord thy God. So that was chapter 13, Deuteronomy. Anybody got any comments on that? Did anything stick out? Okay. I got a couple things I saw there. It says, if you notice right here, it says, in verse 2, it says, verse 3, thou shalt not hearken unto the words of thy prophet, or the dream of dreams, for the Lord thy God proveth you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. And ye shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear him, and keep his commandments. Look at this, obey his voice. See that? So we see right here, we know we told him in Deuteronomy 28, in Exodus 23 and 20, that to obey the angel's voice. So he's commanding them right here to obey the angel's voice, right? So 5, and that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed ye out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk in. So thou shalt thou shalt put the evil away from the midst of it of thee. Right? 6. And if thy brother or thy son or thy mother or thy son or thy daughter or the wife of thy bosom or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods. Look at this. And let us go and serve other gods which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers. Right? So let's look at that. So we go to 28, Deuteronomy 28. Okay. And it says, verse 64, the Lord shall scatter thee from among all people, from one end of the earth, even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods. Look at this, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even root and stone. There ain't but one person, the JC, because our fathers ain't know no Jesus Christ. I know Yahweh Shai. So there it is right there. We got Deuteronomy 64 and precept off of Deuteronomy 13 and 6. Okay. So I'm gonna read chapter 14. Okay. Ye are the children of the Lord your God. Ye shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a particular people unto himself, above all nations that are upon the earth. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which thou shalt eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the hart, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pagus, and the wild ox, and the chamus, and every beast that a part of the hoof, and cleaveth the cliff into 2 claws, and cheweth the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or them that divide the clove hoof, as the camel and the ass and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore they are unclean unto you. And the swine, because it is divided the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcasses. These ye shall eat of that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales shall ye eat, and whatsoever have not fins and scales ye shall not eat. It is unclean unto you. Of all clean birds ye shall eat, but these are they of which ye shall not eat: the eagle, the ostrich, the osprey and the ostrich, and the galidi, and the kite, and the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind, the owl, and the nighthawk, the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, the little owl, the great owl, the swan, the pelican, and the gear eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron, and after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. Okay? And every creeping thing that flieth and is unclean unto you, they shall not be eaten. But of all clean fowls you may eat. If ye shall not eat of any of anything that dieth of itself, thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gate, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien, for thou art a holy people to the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seeth a kid in his mother's milk. But all the tithe, thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year, and thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which thou shalt choose to place his name there, the tithe of thy corn, of the wine, and of thine oil, and the firstling of thy herds and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou or not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set thy name there, and the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, then shalt thou turn it into money, bind up the money in thine hand, and shall go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, and thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth, and thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household. And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. At the end of 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of that increase the same year, and shall lay it up within thy gates. And the Levites, because he have no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the works of thine hand which thou doest. Right. So I had brought this up before, but it was we just kind of skimmed over and vaguely talked about it. So I was telling you about the Levite and about how he's part of all the temple. When Nebuchadnezzar took the vessels out of the temple, notice that the priests and the Levites, he went with him, king's son and all them, they all part of that, all that's holy. So all that was taken, but I'm going to shine a light on 26. He says that 25 says, then thou shalt turn it, when your tithing was what you got out of the field. If you dealt with corn, or you dealt with oil, or whatever you got out of it, a tenth of it goes to the Lord. And if it goes to the Lord, it goes to the priest and the Levites, because he then took them out from among the Israelites and brought them to himself, so they have to be provided for. So it says in 26, thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for the oxen, or for the sheep, or for the wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth, and thou shalt eat there before the Lord, right? So that means, when he's saying before the Lord, that means sacrificing at the altar in the temple. So he says, before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thy household, right? Now watch this, 27. And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him. See that? So you got these brothers talking about don't do this and don't do that. He says, and the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he have no part or no inheritance with thee. So, because he took him out, and he took him out, and he took him unto himself. So whatever you coming over here to try to get of the Lord is to provide for the Levite. So he says, forsake him. He says, thou shalt not forsake him, for he have no part nor inheritance with thee. Then he come back in 29, and the Levite, because he have no part, second witness, nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied. Now here you go. That the Lord, look at this, when you do this, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the works of thy hands, and which I do. See that? So your blessings and all that is sitting on the back of the Levites and the priests. When you handle them the right way, that's the most I just told you right here. I didn't write it. That's how he's gonna bless you. Okay, so still I shine a light on that. Okay, any comments on that? Anything I read?
Verse 2 really stood out to me. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. That just really stood out to me. We don't know how glorious that is, and with that comes certain responsibilities, commandments. That means we can't do like the other nations do.
Exactly.
We're special people.
Exactly.
Right.
So what makes them holy?
Is the following the commandments, being obedient.
Right. Exactly. The commandments he gave them. So let's look at that. We're gonna go all in on that. I'm gonna go to Exodus chapter 3 right quick, because it's going over a lot of people's head. And you start showing them who the Redeemer is.
Where at
So,
again?
Exodus chapter 3.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
So verse 1, chapter 3, verse 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert, came to the mountain of God, even under Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of the fire out of the midst of the bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. So Yahweh ain't there. It's an angel that's there, right?
Yes.
Okay, 3. And Moses said, I will not turn aside to see this great sight while the bush is not burned. And when the Lord, this angel, when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here I am. And he said, draw nigh hither, pull off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place wherein thou standest is holy ground. So why is the place holy? Well, when Moses standing there, why is it holy?
Because it's clean. It's how do I say that? I know what I want to say. It's not defiled. It's Moses is following the commandments and being obedient.
Okay, let's look at it. Channel right on right quick.
Okay.
So he just told him, this angel just told him, the angel of the covenant just told him that they are holy people, right? And they're holy people because they're keeping the commandments.
Right.
Right. So look at this. Enoch, you don't have to go there. Enoch chapter 20. This is Enoch. Enoch informs us that the Most High created 7 angels in the very beginning, right? And so he says, chapter 19, chapter 20, chapter 19, verse 4 says, and I, Enoch, alone saw the vision at the end of all things, and no man see as I have seen. Then chapter 20, verse 1. And these are the name of the holy angels. There's 7 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So ain't one of them right there where Moses is?
Right, yes. Michael said yes.
That's why the ground holy.
Okay.
So ain't Jerusalem holy?
Yes.
Why? Because Israel there. He just told them they're holy people, right?
Right.
So he said the holy city of Jerusalem. So the ground holy right there because he's one of these holy angels. He created 7 holy angels. He formed 7 holy angels from the beginning.
Michael is there. Okay.
Right. So that's why the ground holy.
Got it.
Is there something?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, I read Deuteronomy 13 and 14. And anybody have any comments? Yeah, I was going to ask. Well, I got to holler at you after I get off to close the line out, Mike. I'm going to holler at you for a minute. Stay on there. Okay. Let me do this right quick. Don't say shalom, everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Ask Brother Leonard at 8 o'clock. Shalom.